After the events of the Lockwood Estate incident, Dr. Wu returned to the now abandoned manor. He had managed to retrieve Blue's DNA before she escaped and defeated the Indoraptor. Wu found the body of the hybrid on the Agujaceratops skull and took a sample of its DNA. Since the Indominus Rex's DNA was crushed when Eli Mills was killed by Rexy. He took the DNA to his new lab and began working on the complete specimen. It took some time, and by early 2019, another Indoraptor was created. A female Indoraptor with the exact same color scheme as Blue. She was a little smaller than the original and slimmer as well, though not by much. As he studied her, Dr. Wu was shocked to find that this Indoraptor was a lot more docile than the original. When she saw Dr. Wu for the first time, she didn't attack him immediately. In fact, she didn't even growl or hiss, but instead she looked at him in curiosity. Dr. Wu decided to test her docile nature by entering the enclosure. When she saw him, she immediately lunged forward. Panicking, Wu tried to open the door, but as soon as he did, the Indoraptor quickly shut the door. Preparing for the worst, he closed his eyes as the Indoraptor inched closer and closer to him. Then the most surprising thing happened. The Indoraptor didn't attack him. Instead, she nudged him. Not enough to hurt him, but certainly enough to push him to the ground. Then she picked up what looked like a metal stick and placed it in front of the scientist. Dr. Wu was confused at first as the Indoraptor pushed the stick closer to him. Then he realized that she wasn't trying to hurt him. She wanted to play with him. He quickly got up and grabbed the stick and waved it at her. Her eyes didn't leave the stick and she got excited. Then he threw it over her in her direction. She chased right after it and brought it back to him as if to say, "Again, again." They did this all day until the Indoraptor got tired from all the running and fell asleep right in front of Dr. Wu. After a few more tests, he decided that the Indoraptor was harmless enough to be released into the wild. He then places a chip on the Indoraptor and releases her into the wild to see how she would interact with other animals. When the Indoraptor noticed the door to her freedom was open, she walked towards it curiously. She was hesitant at first and looked back at Dr. Wu, who nodded in approval. She then turned to the outside world and walked away. As he studied her, he noticed the Indoraptor would hunt deer, parasaurs, and other small herbivores. He noticed that unlike the original Indoraptor, she only hunted when she was hungry because she would eat the creature right after killing it. However, something wasn't right, and Dr. Wu noticed this right away. The Indoraptor felt a bit lonely and was looking for a friend. That's when she met Blue. The hybrid was walking around the woods when she saw a deer carcass. She went over to eat it when a raptor lunged out at her and started growling and hissing. The Indoraptor was confused because she saw a raptor that kind of looked like her. She walked a little closer in curiosity, but the raptor just hissed at her. Then she tried to communicate with the raptor to explain that she's a friend and not an aggressor. However, having fought an Indoraptor before, Blue didn't trust her at first. Dr. Wu became nervous. He was worried that the two raptors might fight. However, the Indoraptor refused to give up as she continued to try and persuade Blue that she wanted to be friends. While all of this was happening, a group of poachers were preparing to capture Blue. The raptor was so busy talking to the Indoraptor, she didn't notice the poachers. The Indoraptor did, however, and tried to warn Blue about them. The raptor refused to listen and stood her ground against the hybrid. As one of the poachers snuck behind Blue, the Indoraptor lunged forward and attacked the poacher. This gave Blue enough time to realize the trouble she's in and escape. As she ran, she looked back and noticed the Indoraptor was struggling to fend off the poachers. With quick thinking, Blue raced back to help the hybrid, and together they managed to fend off the poachers. Blue finally accepts the Indoraptor, and the two become good friends. Dr. Wu saw everything and was happy the Indoraptor finally managed to make a friend. They went their separate ways, but would often run into each other and sometimes hunt together. They have been really close ever since.